Well, Todd, were you a fan of the heels or the baby faces?
I was a heel as a baby face. I loved the good girl, but then again, I kind of liked Nanushka too. She was kind of like my favorite, but I loved, and one of my favorites was the little skits like do 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 do.
Oh yeah, the California doll. Points to ponder.
Points to ponder. If Palestina worked for the telephone company, would she be part of a telephone? Do do do. I mean, that was some of that was classic. And my God! And the weird doctor guy.
Oh yeah, Dr. Fielding Grope or something. Right. Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah, that was awesome stuff. I know those skits is what set Glow apart from regular, just what we were so used to seeing as far as wrestling. I mean, it really took it to a really campy, fun, hee-haw kind of level of wrestling, and it's been tried to be duplicated. Nothing really has had that staying power. So.
And I think one of the funniest things is David McClain was at Glow Productions, and there was a phone booth.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was hilarious too. David McClain could really do skits. Right. He was awesome. No one gives him a lot of credit, but he was just really good. He was so involved in the production. He was a producer, and he knew wrestling, and he came from wrestling, and kudos for all that. But he was really good in front of the camera. He was and he had that cute little hair parted to the side, and his tuxedo on, and then he could sell. Oh, he was so fun to watch. He was really awesome. I loved watching Dave McClain, and he's doing good. He's he's still working and still doing the same thing, and he continued on with his promotions and stuff like that, and life's been good to David. So I'm glad to hear that too.
That's great. Like I said, and I remember Powell. Me and a couple friends of mine, we drove to the Hammond Civic Center in Hammond, Indiana, and we saw the Powell show.
In what year? Do you know? Was it the first Powell tour?
I think so, because it wasn't Tina Ferrari, it was Nina. She was Nina. Then there was Polly Alizar Yerovic was Palestina. That was her name on the show.
Yeah.
Then there was, instead of attaché, it was Jeannie Beret or something like that.
That's right. Yep, that's right. That's right. And I was, because my knee, I was still in recovery on my knee. I was on the beginning part of that tour. I'm not sure what city did you say that was?
It was Hammond, Indiana. I lived in Chicago, and me and my friends, we drove all the way to Hammond just to see that show. And at that time, if I'm not mistaken, Wendy Richter was with David McClain as one of the hosts.
Man, I'm not sure. I remember I was on the beginning part of that Powell tour, and I was Palestina's manager.
Oh, okay.
I came out and I hit her sand, and I was a bad girl for the first time, and I was after taking all that abuse as a good girl, and we were so dominated. We were outnumbered in season 2 by bad girls. Everyone, wanted to tear your head off, but to be on the other side of the fence and get to play a heel, it was so fun. And Palestina was, God, I miss her. We're really trying hard to find her. I have no luck on where she's at or what she's done, but boy, what a talent. What an unbelievable talent. She could do her accent so good. And I remember I can't remember where we were at. We were on POW Tour, and someone came in to do an interview, and she's like, oh, my God, I don't really know what I'm going to say. And if they start asking me all sorts of stuff about Palestine, I'm just gonna start screaming, and we're gonna get the hell out of there. And I'm like, okay. So he came in, and he started asking Palestina these questions about wrestling and how she started in wrestling, and then he started asking her about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and then she looked at me, and then she screamed at him, and she just, in her accent, started gibberish and like this made up language, and then I looked at him and said, well, now you've done it. you've made her angry, and we stormed out and closed the door, and he just kind of looked like, what the hell just happened? And Palestina was just like, oh, my God, don't ever put me in that position again. She's just so fun. She was so fun. I love Palestina, and I just loved watching her work. It was so entertaining. She could really keep a crowd, too. She really knew how to keep them drawn into her, and she really knew how to, make every move work, and she knew how to sell everything. She was so good. She was good.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'd like to thank that guy for calling in. Gary, you got a question? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just at an autograph signing, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very surprised to see so many girls that were there that I'd never even heard of or even seen before. What do you think the difference is between back then when you wrestled compared to the girls nowadays that are wrestling?
Well, there was no other girls back in the day when I was wrestling. I mean, we were kept tight at the Riviera Hotel. We never went anywhere or did anything. We had to, we had rehearsals and we had shoots, and that was it. When it was over, it was over. So the director tried to keep everything really tight and closed around us because he did not want us to know, how successful the show was. He wanted to make sure that, he kept a rein on his talent, and it was really strict. I mean, we were there I was pretty much working 3 days a week in training. Then we had rehearsal work, and then our shoots on Saturday. That was it. And when it was over, it was over. We didn't own our characters. We didn't take our characters out on our own. We didn't build from those characters. That was, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Because nowadays there's a lot of independent girls that are going around working at AAA and all over independent workers. And honestly, I don't know how long they've been working, to be honest with you. I mean, you said you started when you were 19. These girls are, I think, maybe younger than that, or maybe.
Really?
Maybe a little bit older than that, I guess.
Mhm.
And but I'd never even seen them or heard of them before, and I was just surprised that when I was at this autograph sign, I seen this table and there's like 4 girls there, and I never even realized who they were because I'd never even seen them before.